name is Isabella Greene, and today I would like to tell you about the plasma light rainbow dimension, or plasma rainbow light dimension. I have been receiving access and also information about this dimension through my sessions recently and through my meditations. Some of our advanced teachers on this planet and the most advanced star seeds have access to that dimension, and I have been learning so much about that dimension. I want to tell you about it. So recently, in a number of sessions, I experienced the connection of my clients through their higher selves, through their non-terrestrial aspect, into the plasma rainbow light dimension. That dimension explained itself, and that's funny, right? But I actually was able in one of the sessions to channel the consciousness of that dimension. That dimension is the state of unified consciousness, not the group consciousness of many individual beings, but one mind, one individual state of consciousness, one shared mind. And a part of that came into the session because the client that I worked with had access to that level, and I was able to experience the feeling of that level of consciousness and also bring the channeled message for the client. But the feeling of that gave me information and understanding, a sense of what it is like. So that dimension is the unified state of consciousness. What they expressed in that session was that they are technically, from the human perspective, because humans like to put things in numbers, like we have to number dimensions, and we have to explain everything in boxes and organize things. That's just the function of the human brain. But because we are in that type of mentality, the higher self, or that aspect, or that mind from that dimension, was delivering information in the following manner. They expressed, and for me, of course, that's not in words, that was just the download of knowledge, a download of feeling information, a state of being that I'm tapped in for the moments of channeling. The knowledge was that they are, from human perspective, in human terms, the next level in frequency, drop in frequency. So they are the next level of dimension, or the dimension which is the next level after the void. What we call the void is the space of complete darkness, the space of everything and nothing at the same time. Technically, the sound or the consciousness or the fabric of reality. Everything is made out of that fabric of reality. And so but there is no visible light within that space. Perhaps scientists call that dark matter. I'm not really sure. But when the light comes in, creation starts. So when the light comes in, there is a partnership, let's say, or co-creation between the light and that dark space. When the light comes in, it starts breaking into the spectrum of lights. Like if you take a crystal and bring the light through that crystal, and it breaks into the spectrum of light. So the spectrum of light that the rainbow plasma dimension has is way outside of the rainbow range of colors that we know on Earth. I got to see that color experience, and that is undescribable from the human perspective, but the number and the shades and the densities and the levels, layers of color that at the same time are also sound, at the same time are also state of mind, a state of consciousness. So that's infinite within that dimension and absolutely breathtaking. However, it does have that visible light and visible coloration. And the interesting part about that was that I had a number of clients whose higher selves, and what in my line of work or in my school of thought or in my let's say set of beliefs, what I call higher selves are the aspects of the same person, the same human soul or human spirit that are outside of physical reality and outside of human terrestrial reality. So these are technically non-terrestrial aspects of the same flow of consciousness, and they very often kind of sit on top of each other or move from one to the next as the consciousness is expanded. But again, I am perceiving that from the linear perspective. But if we visualize the dimensions are stacked linearly like that, then the beings of these dimensions are kind of telescoping one after the next until they reach the state of that plasma level dimension. And this week alone, I worked with the avian, ascended avian race who were pretty much dissolving into that plasma state of being. I worked with the Lyran, let's call them ascended Lyran beings, why not, right? The highest level of development of consciousness of a specific race. When they reach that level of development, they access that rainbow plasma dimension where there's no form, just the color and sound. But sound makes you think that you're hearing something, right? It's not a sound that we know here on earth as a tone or as a melody or as music. It's also the fabric of reality. And that fabric of reality, the sound, creates color. Color is that sound. It's challenging to explain in words, but once you have seen that or experienced that, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so the interesting part for me from a human perspective is that various races within galactic community, let's just say, maybe intergalactic community, from where I am observing them, they are at this time becoming or receiving access to that dimension. Of course, maybe that's happening all the time, right? And I just arrived, or humanity, some of us within humanity just arrived where we're able to observe that. That's more likely because we're the only ones experiencing things linearly and within time frame, right? But we on Earth are at the time where multiple people or multiple star seeds who are connected through their star lineage and their DNA to races that are tapping into or accessing the state of being and the state of consciousness of the plasma light dimension. Through that access, through the higher self structure, let's just say, the humans are also able to access that. And so at this time, the way it looks to me, that multiple cosmic races are accessing that same state of consciousness or that same dimension. Of course, we think about it, everything came from that dimension. So it came and it dropped from the vastness of that black space into the rainbow plasma state of being, and then into form from there, and then drop density, density actually went up here, and we arrived at the physical experience on Earth and the physicality here. But now it seems like the movement back is happening as well. So we went all the way down into physicality, now moving back up into awareness of ourselves in that rainbow plasma light dimension. So I wanted to share this with you because I find that fascinating, and it's very interesting that different races that I observed in my sessions experience different spectrum of light when they are within the state of consciousness, or the state of sound, the state of being of that plasma dimension. Because when I work to observe the ascended Lyran race in that state of consciousness, that state of being, or that access, they were almost like the liquid golden plasma, but it was also shimmering with all of these lights, and they had the same exact colors, and it had the same exact texture and frequency and quality to it as what the aliens were. That was more transparent, more of the white spectrum, but also with all of the other infinite amount of frequency, color, and sound present. And the humans themselves who have access to that directly, they experience a bit of a different texture, different formation, a different coloration, if you wish. At least that's how it looks to me, like when I'm looking at these states of being for the people, for the clients, and for the higher self aspect. And that is also something that I found just breathtaking. And here I am, just wanted to share this with you. So thank you for tuning in today. If you'd like to have a session with me, you can reach me at IsabellaGreene.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here I share all kinds of stories and all kinds of information with you on this channel. And I'll see you next time. Take care now. Namaste.